Hi, welcome to Take 5 with Pet Tutor. I'm Amanda and this is Jennifer, and we're here to talk with Jennifer today. She's written a blog and it's about impulse control.
That's right.
And tell me a little bit about what inspired you to write about impulse control with animals, dogs.
Well, I think impulse control is one of those concepts that people know very little about, and yet it's so easy to apply, and it helps in so many different places, with our dog, that I thought, I really had the urge to write about it.
We have a Dane who loves for us to throw the Kong to him, and but when we were getting ready to throw it, he was barking at us and lunging and really not kind of coming towards us a little bit, and it was intimidating. And I really wanted him to have offer some manners and a little bit more self-control. That's how I pictured it. But and we've been working on that. And is that kind of what you mean by impulse control, or?
Yeah, so think about dogs as 2-year-old little people.
Yes.
How does a 2-year-old behave? When they want something, they want it right now, and if they don't get it right now, they'll have a fit about it. Now, fortunately, we grow out of that, and as we grow up, we've learned that patience, and we have to wait a little bit, and we have to ask politely. But that has been a journey for us to get to that point. And the dogs are very much the same way. If they want something, they want it right now. They want to get out of the crate now. They want to get out of the car right now. They want the ball. They want the food. If they get to all those things, they've learned that, hey, well, that's a great way to get to it. The problem is when they live in our environment, now they can push us down. They, as you mentioned, your dog, they can be barky and demanding and it can create all sorts of issues because they haven't learned patience and they haven't learned how to be polite. And it's up to us to teach them. It's very, very easy. Now, the other thing about impulse control is when we teach them to wait for our cue before they go out of the crate or out of the car or before they run after the ball, they also learn to pay more attention to us. If they learn to look at us and wait for our signal, we're setting up a relationship, a communication pattern here that helps in other areas too. So for all those reasons, impulse control, the concept of impulse control is really, really important.
Okay, so when we were about to throw the ball, if he barked or lunged, we just put it behind our back and it disappeared, and the game kind of waited.
So basically, if you keep in mind that dogs do what works, and you can just wait and pick the behaviors you want to reward.
Okay.
So anytime the dog has access to what it wants, whether it's freedom, the ball, the food, you, or whatever it is, every time the dog can have access to that, whatever behavior got to what they wanted has been rewarded. So if you keep that in mind, you can just pick and choose which behavior you want to reward. Let's say instead of barking and lunging and jumping, you want your dog to sit down. You can simply have that ball, and as you said, you put it probably out of sight of the dog, and wait. The dog's not going to bark forever or jump forever or lunge forever. There's a point where they're going to go, and they may sit down.
Okay.
That's when you pull your ball out, and that's the behavior that you want to reward, and teach the dog that that's how they can get the ball. And the same applies to crate. Instead of, if you open the crate when the dog is barking and pawing and doing all those behaviors, and you open the crate and the dog just pushes its way out of the crate, you have just rewarded that behavior. So instead, you can just stand there, wait for the dog to calm down, and eventually sit, if that's your criteria. Then you open the door. And if when you open the door, the dog tries to get out, you close the door. You wait again, and you wait for the sit, and you just keep playing that little game, and the dogs are very, very good and very quick at learning what works, and they will figure out that to get out of the crate, they have to sit down.
Okay, all right. Any other tips?
Or when you grab the leash, that's a typical when you take the leash out, you want to go out for a walk, and now the dog is jumping all over the place and barking and all excited. Well, again, if you put that leash on your dog while he's doing all of that, that's the behavior you're rewarding. So instead, you can just stand there and wait and develop your own patience with this.
Okay.
And wait wait for the dog to settle down. And you can ask for a sit, then put the leash. If the dog gets out of position and starts jumping and whining and everything, you just put the leash back in the closet. Wait a few seconds, wait for everything to calm down, grab the leash out again, and try again. And you just keep repeating that until the dog is consistent with sitting down and waiting for you to put the leash on. So really, it applies to everything.
Thank you. Great tips. So what are we going to talk about next? Your next blog is,
Yes, we're going to talk about shock collars.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I look forward to it, sort of. Yeah, not my favorite
difficult subject.
Yeah, it is a
controversial
subject.
subject.
Yeah, very
yes.
controversial. Okay. Thank you so much. See you next time with Take 5 and Pet Tutor. Bye-bye.